If you're a songwriter and you've listened back to one of your songs and just felt like it's never quite hit the mark, you know that something's missing, but you just don't know what, then this video is for you. I made music like that for years. I'd write songs that I thought I believed in, but I'd listen back and it just didn't land in the way that I wanted. They sounded amateur, but I didn't know why. And I've also seen this happen with so many of my students. And there are 3 common mistakes that I see repeated by songwriter after songwriter that you are also likely making. And once you make some small tweaks, your songs instantly start sounding more professional, more intentional, and far more emotional for the listeners. Hey, Danny here from Songwriters International. If you're new to the channel, we help songwriters develop their craft by sharing tips, tricks, and techniques on all things songwriting so that you can go and write your best possible songs. And if you find this video valuable, you can see in the description below you can book a one-to-one songwriting call with me personally, where we can dive into all of these things specifically to your craft, your lyrics, your melodies, and I can help you personally. Alright, so let's dive on into this. We're going to jump on into mistake number 1 first. It's a huge one and the most common one that I see, and it's a lack of melodic contrast. Now, a lot of beginner songs, mine included years ago, stay on the same melodic line for a long period of time, from verse into chorus into verse 2, and it's just like staying on a roller coaster that never moves. There's no lift, there's no fall, there's no tension, there's no payoff, and even with great lyrics, the song will still fall flat if melodically it doesn't take you anywhere. So let's say, for example, your verse melody does this. Da 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 da, yeah. Da 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 da, yeah. And then your chorus goes da 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 da. It's basically just the same thing. It doesn't lift, it doesn't take the listener on a melodic journey. And what makes a great melody is that it has a contrast, that the verse is different to the chorus, and that the bridge is different to the other sections of the song. Pro songwriters use leaps, pauses, build tension, and payoffs throughout the melody, not just the lyrics or the musical elements. Let me give you an example of how this would actually work, to how we could create 2 sections that are completely different melodically. Da 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 da, yeah. And we go again. Da 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 da. Now let's do a chorus. 'Cause how I don't know why I keep on bum. I can feel bum 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 bum. You can see how those 2 melodies are different. They take the listener on a journey. So next time you write a melody, add a jump, add some space within the melody. Build it up, drop it off. Because if you have melodic movement, you're going to have emotional impact, which is going to make for a great song. Into mistake number 2, which is surface level lyric writing. And these are oftentimes lyrics that tell and don't show. I'm sure you've heard lyrics like this. I miss you every day. I'm broken. You left me. And for sure, they could be telling the story very easily and they are very true, but they're not interesting. In a world where now there's 60,000 uploads every single day of songs, that kind of lyrical content will simply just not cut through the noise. So I'm going to share with you an example of what this actually looks like with a surface level lyric, and then how we can go deeper and explore the lyric to cut through the noise and be that bit better than everybody else. So we have an example here, which is, I can't forget you. You're always on my mind, which is what we would call a surface level lyric. But if we want to dive deeper and we want to go under the surface, we would say something like, your coffee's still half full, sitting cold on the windowsill. Same emotion, far more impact, and actually creates a picture for the listener to imagine. And I guarantee that the listener, when they take a listen to this song, will feel the weight of the detail. And the truth is, if your song just fits into every other track and simply says things in a very easy to follow way, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to be another song like there are every single day uploaded. A pro tip for you is to go for sensory writing or sensory language. Show me what it looked like, even what it sounded like, what it felt like. That one tweak will transform your lyric writing instantly. Another great way to improve your lyric writing is to ask the lyric questions. Let's suppose we had a surface level lyric like I miss you. Start to ask that questions. What do you actually miss about the person? How long have you been without the person? How hard has it actually been? What's been going through your mind? And all of these things that you're then going to say, you can write down on a piece of paper, start drawing it out, and write your lyric, which is now not going to tell, but it's going to show. And mistake number 3 is using perfect rhyme too much. You know perfect rhyme, that one which says fat, hat, cat, flat. It sounds like a child's nursery rhyme, and as soon as you depend on it, it starts to box you in because you literally cannot explore any other lyric. And when every rhyme starts to sound predictable and perfect, it starts to actually lose the emotional power. And the truth is, you end up writing to rhyme instead of the emotion that you're trying to say. You're looking at a lyric and you're going, what rhymes with hat? And then you're going, oh, cat. So you start to force the lyric in, not based on what you're trying to say, but because you're focusing far too heavy on the delivery of the rhyme. It's a perfect example of what it looks like with a song that I might get sent for feedback. I saw the light, it felt so right, I held you tight all through the night. And soon as I hear this, it turns me off. I want to skip the song, and this is how listeners feel when they hear your music. Now if we compare that to, you left your coat on the chair, silence humming in the air. It's still rhyming, but it feels natural and not so forced. So my tip for you on this is to use what we call near rhymes. And you can simply do this in the writing process where you take the word that you do want to rhyme with, but then you type in that word online and you say near rhymes, and it will give you a list of songs that are not 100% perfect rhyme. Additionally, you can use internal rhymes, or in fact, just to break the misconception, you don't need to rhyme. So just break the rhyming pattern when you feel it serves the song. I would rather you actually get across the emotion that you're trying to say, rather than focusing too heavily on the rhyme. And having written over 1,000 songs today, I can tell you that listeners pick up on patterns very quickly. So the way to keep them engaged is to use the variation within the melody, within the lyric, and also within the rhyme. Now, if you want any help to how to actually apply these into your writing process, specifically to the songs you're writing, the lyrics you're writing, the rhymes that you're creating, then as I've mentioned in the description below, you can book a one-to-one call with me for free where we can deep dive into this and look at it from your perspective, for your genre, for your music. But now that you know the common mistakes to actually avoid, the next step is actually putting it all together in a process. Writing a song from start to finish that doesn't have these issues, that sounds professional, that sounds catchy, that sounds hooky, lyrically storytelling, and sounds to the level that you've always wanted to get it to. And that's what I've exactly covered for you in my video, which is how to write a song, the complete process. I walk you A to Z of how I write songs, from idea right through to lyric, through to melody, and how I use rhyme in my process. So if you're ready to take the next step and start writing complete songs like a pro, somewhere around here you can click that video, head on over there and watch that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, book a call below in the description if you want, and I'll see you over on the next video.